Well, firstly, the internet was a very, very small group of people who were trying to provide commercial internet services, and even right in those first early days, the government started saying that, oh no, we need to make special rules for what happens online and additional special regulations, and I've always been of the view that, well, no, it's the same as doing anything else. You don't need new regulations. You just need to apply the ones you've already got. And if something's illegal off the internet, it should be illegal on the internet. But if it's legal off the internet, then it's going to be legal on the internet. Within the bounds of the possible, I think ISPA made a big contribution. I mean, clearly from about 1999, 2000 onwards, you then had the sort of big content people sort of really putting their shoulder to the wheel as well, and they have hugely more resources and much more to lose from ridiculous regulation. But it's all about, there's a whole bunch of vested interests, even now, who would prefer the internet didn't work, who would prefer the internet wasn't there. And they spend their time lobbying to attempt to, introduce new taxes for the internet that don't apply if you're not on the internet. So has ISPA been successful? Yeah, I think it has been a positive contribution to keeping the internet alive as a vibrant communication tool that is helping individuals and companies and groups genuinely change the world for the better. Well, I think the world of modems was largely the world of hobbyists. So for the first few years, it wasn't really about the business drivers for the first few years, and those really took off with the introduction of broadband, and that's really when it became obvious that people weren't just going to be hearing that as they dialed up the whole time, that actually you'd move to a world where it wasn't that people would go online and do something, which is where you were with a modem. It was that people would actually be online all the time. And I think that was sort of, that was the biggest single change I think we saw. But I guess the sort of massive spin-off I think we've seen from it is despite the dot-com crash, giving people the idea that they can go and start a business and do something better than exists now. I think the internet has massively helped that, and and I think that's had a sort of massive cultural change on the way people have thought about what they should do with their lives and how they should have a career, and it has been stunningly positive for just for the way the country operates. Bluntly, I think it's keeping at the same campaign. I mean, honestly, it's just doing it year after year after year, because those same forces on the other side just are remorseless. I mean, ISPA's biggest successes, I think, making sure that, or working with a whole bunch of other people in the industry. Well, I think there is still a real challenge with persuading the government that they are actually responsible for enforcing the law on the internet in the same way as they are off the internet, and applying resources to law enforcement. and I don't know if you've ever tried reporting anything that's bad and has gone wrong, but it just, for every user on the internet, it just seems completely pointless because absolutely nothing ever happens. And that's because the sheer quantity of these criminal activities, you're much more likely to be mugged online than you are mugged in the street. And yet almost all of the resources are being used against mugging in the streets, not against mugging online. And I think that challenge of just getting the government to really understand that actually law enforcement is their job. It's not the internet industry's job, it's their job. And they need to put the resources in the right place to solve the problem. So again, going back to why was this performed in the first place? Because actually, although everyone in the internet industry is fighting for the same business, we ultimately have a whole series of common issues that actually we don't fight over. And it's about, by banding together, we can address those common issues together in a way that isn't about fighting for customers and winning business from each other. So in the same way, I think the ISPA Awards, do have an annual focus of bringing the industry together. On the whole, though, I think ISPA has been a force, a positive force for the internet industry, and I'm quietly proud of my contribution to ISPA. I think it's done a good work, and over many, many years. So, no, it's been good to be involved.